Welcome to Happy Wolf Art, and this week we're going to do episode 9 of Artistic Choices. And the topic here, or the comic I'll be looking at, is Grommets from Rick Remender and Brett Parson. So, real quick, coming to you from my favorite surf spot. I already got a good little surf in, so we're going to do some comics. Brett Parson, you may know him from Tank Girl, and I'm a real big fan of his art. For this video, I wanted to focus on environment, details, and what was the third one? Environment, details, and composition. Yeah, sorry about that. Composition. So, very first page, really nice establishing shot. And remember, I'm sort of noting these things for myself as an artist, and maybe some of these ideas might help to inspire you in your own art. So really nice establishing shot of, this is a California scene, Sacramento businesses. You can see some of these throwbacks, so it's setting up an environment that's in the past. Cars, specific types of cars that also date the image. Just a really nice composition. This is obviously in the center, these trees, palm trees, but they're at an angle. And then these clouds give a nice framing device, pointing our eye down here towards these cars. And then from the cars, where there's a dialogue going in, it comes down right into the two main characters of the story. So just a real nice establishing shot and setting up to or actually the main character in the story, but his dad, just an important figure. So, all right, I'm going to flip through. There's a couple pages that I want to focus on. This one, as far as storytelling and also structure, we have a lot of similar sized panels, but they're all very important because they're switching through various scenes, which are class periods in the day. So it's a good choice to have similar style panels. And then you have this framing device of the clock and the passing of time, and the details of these scenes are very expressive of what's going on, versus the time is just the only focus, no background, and so forth. But if you look at these individual scenes, there's so much going on, so many details. But if we look at the composition, right, we have this line of students, another line of students directing our eye to the teacher who's doing something on the board. We have this paper airplane flying in off panel, so we know there's something else going on off to the right. We have stuff on the floor. He's looking at a magazine. These two girls are talking. So a lot of information going on. Even the speaker, you have the clock. So there's different things that we can consider. So this is all part of visual storytelling, and super fun. Even though this scene is relatively simple, and the focus is on this character, there's details put in to give us an environment of the classroom, the windows, there's an outside space, and so forth. So these are all things that we have to think about as artists. I really like this scene. We have somebody just off panel heading forward. We have our main character, which is sort of centered, but then we have these staggered, and they're going back in space, and our eye is following in this direction, and then it turns in this direction. You can follow up this pole, speakers, again, details in the background, a fence even further back. So a lot of layering going on, and Parsons does that. This page is really neat too. We see a lot of compositional things, a lot of details, but we have compositionally two figures. This person is interested in this group of friends. We have sort of these three together, and they're being framed. And then we have an environment, environmental details framing them. Even the skateboard. So he's interested in this group, so his board is pointing towards them. This guy who's on the outside of the group, his board is pointing back towards them. So a lot of visual information telling the viewer where to look and what's important and what's not. This scene also, really good framing device, a person here on the edge and a person here on the edge, and he's differed it so this person goes off the panel. This person, there's space and a little bit of information. He's going off of the panel up here and down below too, and then the main character in the middle. And Parsons also has a lot of layering in his pictures. So this is our foreground, going further back in space, the bus further back, the house and trees further back, the electrical lines and so forth. And then this last piece, the crowd, which you're on the side, the viewer is on the side of the crowd. It reverses and it's from his point of view and they're all looking at him. So a nice reversal of shots. So really good scene. And I'm going to skip these, and then probably two more things to look at that are really good, and that will be it. I really enjoy this panel just because of the 80s colors, these blues, a lot of pastels, right? Let's get rad, high five. They're gonna go out and go skateboarding and stuff. So and then this scene, or actually this page, there's a grandmother crossing the street, right? We're inside the car. The two kids' attention is focused on this father. And then how it's all set up. Here we have them driving, so it switches from inside the car to outside. The camera angle changes, and what's happening in the car, he's slamming on the horn. And then all this visual information, the street, the words, it's all going back into here. It's focusing our eyes on the action. And then here, of course, is further action where she's jumping away. Everything is going away from this danger. And just tons of details. Obviously, speed lines, nervousness, the teeth are flying out of her mouth, the eggs are cracking, and Parsons always has a lot of fun details in his work. And so if we go to episode 2, or not episode 2, issue 2, speaking of details, I'll just show you one panel here. This establishing shot of the house, we go inside the house to his bedroom, and just details galore. And this scene is just filled to the brim, from the floor, right? Even here's a Skeletor with slime on him under here. Maybe he's in a slime pit. Slurpee, right? All these details, all these bands. And so these environments, these backgrounds, super important for storytelling, and not only the main thing, but I just love his work, and obviously could say more about his line work and so forth, but details, composition, and just storytelling with your images. Here's a nice nod to comics, right, with Hulk, but for the most part, a lot of skater and pop cultural references. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video and can apply some of these things to your own art. And if you haven't checked out Grommets, it's a nice nostalgic throwback comic about skateboarding in the 80s and maybe early 90s. So all right, thanks for joining me.